Hello, lovely people. As many of you have probably already realised, this isn't my real hair. It's a wig. And this, it isn't my real hair either. It's a form. And this, I guess this isn't technically real hair, but I can't take it off because it's attached to my head. So my real hair is actually dark blonde and straight as a ruler. See here, I hate it. Because obviously everyone wants the opposite of what they have. So my friends with curly hair wanted my straight hair. But is that really painfully straight corn-coloured tragedy my real hair? Because it never felt like it. Which, you know, is why I spent hours and days and years perfecting my curling techniques to transform it into hair that I felt truly confident in. Watch my hair curling tutorials if you want to copy any of my looks. But also, I have a chronic illness and a scoliosis that makes my neck bend the wrong way. So sometimes I just can't curl my hair, even when I have to for the next day. The have being, of course, a choice my own stupid brain has chosen. And I have a toddler. And in a few months, I'm going to have newborn twins. I just don't have the time. Well, what about extensions? I have those. They clip in. I bought them for my wedding 8.5 years ago, and they look tired. But also, I need to curl my regular hair and then curl them. So how is this saving me time? Oh, permanent extensions, you say? An excellent thought. Yes, I've considered it and then realised I have excruciating migraines where I wish to rip my entire scalp off, and that feels in some way a little too heavy. My own hair is already too much in those moments. But what about hair I can take off? Yes! At first I thought I would just get a fall to fill in the back, but then I realised it's actually very, very fun getting different styles and being able to change up my looks to different characters in videos, and it's basically a work expense, right? Anything related to my hair is a work expense, right? My accountant does not agree. A tragedy. But thanks to the lovely people at my local vintage wig shop, Annabelle's Wigs, linked below, I do now have a range of beautiful wigs. And have you even noticed? What's a wig? Well, keep watching to find out. Okay, should we get my hair out but without catching any of this hair? May need some assistance?
Yeah, exactly. We're just filming you struggle.
Ah, that's cool.
I think the good thing is it has all these different colours in it, so even if my hair, if I've just dyed it and it's a bit darker, that sort of works. But then if it's going towards the lighter end, it's still matching here with dyed red hair as it goes through all of its stages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. That is just my hair
Yeah.
when I've curled my hair.
Exactly.
This is very good.
And if you're doing it mainly for filming, you're never going to see those really blonde highlight bits at the top of your scalp
That's true.
where it's showing on this.
Just roll it in. Definitely going to be somebody watching this going, that's absolutely not how you do it.
Yeah. What does, like, loads of people do it totally differently. It's very 1960s. It's very pretty by that.
She really went for it, yeah.
It's good to have different looks, isn't it?
Good to have different looks, and also I can use them for different, like, characters.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Yeah,
videos.
side shots and different characters would be helpful.
Yeah. Then it's really very visually obvious.
That looks so cute on
Hi.
These eyebrows are completely different.
God,
This
that's
is me with a friend.
It looks so cute.
I look so much like my great grandmother right now. Oh my gosh. Having some feelings about fringes suddenly. My incredibly small forehead may be a slight issue. Yeah, it keeps wanting to go back to like a natural forehead size, which I guess would be it's about the size of your forehead, darling. See, the thing is, look at this hair in front of my ear. So I really like the curls; they're gorgeous. But this piece, not so much. So bit of fringe. It's quite a firm fringe. Yeah, it could be nice to have a short one.
Table theatre.
What do you think?
Yeah, makes you look kind of Italian.
Okay.
Who's that mum in the Addams Family?
Oh,
Morticia.
Yeah, a little, giving off those vibes. Good to try on a different colour, but I think.
Yeah, good to try on a different colour.
Wigs are great for creating a new identity, but when it comes to your real identity online, you need Incogni, the sponsor of today's video. It's the smart way to protect your personal data from being sold by data brokers. Incogni? Oh, like incognito mode? Nope. Incognito mode hides your browsing. Incogni goes further. It removes your personal data from data broker databases entirely. It's like your online information never existed. Incogni sends removal requests on your behalf, saving you hours of hassle. They deal with data brokers, so you don't have to. All you need to do is create an account, give Incogni permission to act on your behalf, and sit back and watch them work. Sounds like it makes life easier and safer. It does. If you're ready to take your personal data back, head to incogni.com/Jessica and use code Jessica for 60% off an annual plan. That's a limited time offer, so don't wait. Now that's what I call going incognito fabulous. Don't look at me like that. Incognito is a great joke. Moving on. History of my hair. I actually have a video about the history of my hair and my vintage hair journey. You can watch it here in the card above. I'll also leave a link in the description. But in summary, I've been dyeing it some shade of red since I was a teenager, and they dyed my hair on a TV show that we don't talk about because it wasn't a great experience and I had to deal with ableist online harassment afterwards. And I've been curling it for far longer than that. From doing the bun trick when I was a little kid. Here's a reel of me doing the bun trick. Follow me on Instagram for more vintage fashion /disability /LGBTQ+ history. Or wrapping my hair in rags like a Victorian waif. Finally getting my hands on a set of heated rollers and frying my hair. Probably because I had a perm at the time. Yes, I also had a perm at the time because I was willing to try anything that helped me to feel like me, and apparently the me I'm most comfortable with has vintage waves. The way that I look is just inextricably linked to how I feel about myself. That's not very feminist or forward thinking. That is not what feminist means. As a disabled person who also has a chronic illness, maintaining my physical appearance and managing my personal image has a really heavy weight. The importance I place on it isn't just because I like to look nice, I do also, but because I know what it's like to be treated differently in very important situations, like receiving medical attention, due to the way I look. Sometimes my personal style helps people listen to me, and sometimes it stands in the way of people assisting me because they struggle to see beyond someone who chooses to look like this. I don't know. I think I look great. Honestly, for someone who sees doctors a lot, it does help for me to look as presentable as I can, as often as possible, so that when they then see me and I'm in my pyjamas with unwashed hair and unable to even politely smile, they know that something is wrong and are faster to act, even though technically something is always wrong. I'm always in pain. That's what chronic pain is. I mean, like, I'm missing a part of my DNA and my bones grew twisted, so it freaking hurts. But it does become unmanageable. It becomes a really, really bad pain. And looking not very good is a great way of showing that bad pain. Does that make sense? Equally though, when you face societal bias and stereotyping, appearance can be a powerful tool for asserting identity, self-respect, and agency. This is my choice. This is my style. So many things about my body and my life are out of my control, but this looks mine. For disabled people, taking control of our physical images can counteract stereotypes that render us invisible or viewed through a lens of pity. You don't get to devalue someone or overlook their individuality when they've expressed themselves through fun stickers on their wheelchair or dyed their hair their favourite colour. Dressing in a way that makes you feel fully comfortable is resistance, and it's pride. When I was 17, I paralysed both of my arms, practically overnight, which is how I found out I have a missing gene and a genetic disability that can paralyse my limbs for periods of time. It was a really great discovery. It crushed my confidence, not being able to have control over anything, including dressing myself. I had to do a lot of physical therapy, obviously. They work much better now. Rather than the soul-crushing goals that they suggested, feed yourself the meal. Oh, please don't remind me that I can't. Let's not repeat that as our daily mantra. I instead set as my target learning how to do vintage hair. Slowly, over many months, I worked up to just touching the front of my hair, curling just the parts I could reach. I tried different types of curling methods until I found the one that works as for me and used that as my physical therapy. Sponge rollers, it is. Sponge rollers. All the way. My hair became my confidence. History of wigs.
Wait, didn't we all used to wear wigs, like, in the past?
Okay, sure, let's do a brief history of wigs, which unsurprisingly does play into health. Wigs have been worn for thousands of years and have served a variety of purposes, from the practical to the fashionable. Our first stop is the year 1350 BC, during the era of the Old Kingdom of Egypt. The people who dwelled along the banks of the River Nile all those years ago were the first people to embrace wigs in a big way. Now, they were usually crafted with human hair, or for those who could not afford them, vegetable fibres or sheep's wool.
Which sounds like it would really itch.
It's believed people partially wore wigs to protect their heads from the sun, because after all that is an intense heat. But as seen in the fresco at the Tomb of Nebamun, wigs were natty accessories in their own right, and an important status symbol too. Following a protracted game of pass the parcel between rival powers, the Nile region eventually folded into the Roman Empire in the year 30 BC, and the wig craze returned to the fringes, so to speak. Sorry. Fast forward to 1620s France. Bonjour. Watch your step. Hold your noses, my friends. The streets of Paris during this time are notoriously stinky and very muddy. Watch my video on the history of high-heeled shoes for how that plays into fashion history. By the 17th century, Paris was fast becoming the cultural capital of Europe. Courtesy of generous royal patronage, French tailoring, weaving and embroidery were considered the creme de la creme, and the powerful French monarchs, along with their queens, served as the original trendsetters, setting the standard for fashion across the continent. In the early 1600s, baldness in men was associated with sickness and weakness, whilst long hair was seen as a sign of health and virility, likely due to the toxic mercury treatment for syphilis which caused hair loss.
Which is a good reason to stay clear.
King Louis XIII had first worn his luxuriously long hair natural, but when it started to fall out, he started wearing a shoulder-length black wig called a perruque, made up of 3 broad sections of hair joined together. As the fashionista-in-chief, his first public appearance with a wig really set a trend, and other members of the court and aristocracy soon followed suit. Towards the end of the 16th century and beginning of the 17th, the perruque was no longer worn as an adornment or to correct nature's defect, but rather as a distinctive feature of costume. Wigs became a status symbol of power, wealth and elegance, from King Charles II of England to Emperor Leopold of the Holy Roman Empire, and scientists like Isaac Newton. Fun fact, one of the beliefs about hair at the time was that it was hollow and allowed diseases to come into your head, so keeping your real hair covered was an act of hygiene, an excellent protective and preventative health practice. But maybe you've heard that the reason everyone wore wigs in the 18th century was due to people being so hideously infested with lice that they simply shaved all their hair off and wore wigs like that. Because honestly, who has time for a full wash and shampoo when you have to sharpen your own quill?
What? It's the 18th century? They'd moved on from...
My point still stands. Things took longer back then. But were people actually so filthy and crawling with vermin that they had to wear wigs rather than their actual hair? No. And you can watch fashion historian Abby Cox get really annoyed about people thinking that in this video. It's very fun. Also, having unwashed hair kind of is one of the reasons I wear wigs sometimes, so who am I to judge? Another wig misconception is that women had to wear huge fake hair-like pieces in order to create intricate Marie Antoinette hairstyles. Hairdressing manuals from the 18th century, even in the 1770s and 1780s when hair was at its biggest, are instructions on how to frizz, style, pad and design women's hair using hair pieces, but also their actual hair. The instructions are always based around using the woman's natural hair. In fact, images of women wearing wigs quite unkindly depict them as old, sick, or very, very vain, and probably having venereal diseases. Oh, but men wearing wigs, protecting their own hair, and themselves from the possibility of getting sick. As such, the fall in the popularity of men wearing wigs lines up with the rapid changes and growth in the field of medicine throughout the 18th century. However, they had also come to stand as representation of masculinity, and thus were being worn by men of all social classes, although with different styles. If you don't have a lot of money, you're not going to be updating your wig collection every few months. But that in itself made wigs a little less attractive to the upper classes. Snobs will snob. By the early 1800s, people began washing their hair with water rather than pomade and powder. Yes, imagine if you only ever dry shampooed your hair. And wigs just weren't much called for anymore. Ah, that's a little early to end the history section. People definitely still wear wigs today. Yes, indeed they do. And those people are me, because curling my hair is great. And I feel like I've really worked out how to do it now, even if I just want a little twist at the end. But it takes a lot of time. I curl my hair in the evenings and then I sleep in my rollers, but my hands aren't that great, so it does actually take a lot of time. And I do really need to start going to bed earlier. And did I mention I have a small child and twins on the way? I need a way to look good, quickly. It's low stress. I have too much stress right now. It's a very high risk pregnancy and I've developed this anxiety that won't let me sleep. So, wigs it is! Thank you so much for watching me freaking out about my hair. It's not what this video is about. It's actually called Chronic Illness Life Hack Wigs. Genuinely. So thankful that I now have an easy way to do my hair. Thank you for supporting me in this difficult time. Peak anxiety. Oh my goodness, I hope I get to sleep again. I feel weirdly like I will rest more once the twins are here, because they'll be here and then I will be feeling better. Also, remember to spray dry shampoo on your synthetic hair wigs so they look more natural. And if you have an odd hairline like mine, it's just straight. It's just straight. I know most people have like a curve. No. It's an angle. It's got an angle in their forehead. Or a 3-head. Yeah, it's a 3-head. No 4-head here. Just let the idea of lace front wigs go. It's not gonna happen. No. You can wear them as a 4 though. You just fold it up, pop it on, use your own hair at the front. You're welcome. Thank you so much to Incogni for sponsoring this video. Remember to click the link in the description or head to incogni.com/Jessica and use code Jessica for 60% off an annual plan. It is a limited time. I can't say limited. It is a limited time offer, so don't delay. And if you've been eyeing my top throughout this video, it says Out of the Closet and it's a green carnation, you can purchase it in my merch store. Check the merch shelf below the video or click through to the store listed in the description. And remember, members of the Kellgren-Fozard Club have a special 25% discount this month. Details can be found on the community tab. If you would like to join the club, then simply click the join button below. A special treat for those of you watching to the end of the video. Another reason wigs are great, your toddler can pretend to be you. Adorable. I will see you in my next video.